Lately, I've learned that my confidence starts with feeling good in what I'm wearing. And this used to stress me out. But now I realize you don't need an overflowing closet. You just need a few pieces that make getting dressed easy. That's why we love Quince here at DATEABLE. They make high-quality essentials like ultra-soft organic cotton, premium Mongolian cashmere sweaters, and premium stretch denim starting at just $50. Everything's beautifully made, timeless, and easy to dress up or down. I just picked up a few of their silk camisoles in different colors, and they make every outfit feel more elevated. The best part is that Quince prices everything 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they work directly with ethical factories. Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/dateable. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/DATEABLE. Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to DATEABLE. Hello, friends.
Welcome back to another episode of DATEABLE.
Yay! We're glad that you've joined us for this conversation. I want you to feel seen and heard in our conversation today about therapy talk.
But not gaslit.
Yeah.
We are excited, though, because this is a hot topic. And if you've been with us through this off season, we've been really just going into some of these like cultural moments that are happening and having real nuanced discussions, not just, yes, this is great. No, this sucks. Like we're really going there. And I think therapy is something that you and I both talk about a lot. And there's obviously so many benefits of therapy. Absolutely. But then there's some stuff that maybe isn't serving us in dating with therapy culture. And there's been a couple articles that have come out recently. There's one called You're Not a Therapist, Stop Talking Like One in Vanity Fair that came out in July from Hillary Booses. And it was talking about just not just in dating, but like therapy language has spread into workplaces and friendships and dating, social media. I saw this TikTok that was hilarious. It was like this girl, you know, like some people will like film and there's like not another person, but you just like see them talking. And she ran into her friend. She's like, oh, like, I know you haven't like texted me back in a while. Like, I get it. You've been busy, all this stuff. And then like the friend's like kind of being weird back. And she's like, let's set up something. And she gives this like canned, like, I don't know if you are good for my mental health. And I'm only trying to be with people that add value. Like this like very like generic canned response. And the girl's just like, so I guess I'll call you. It's really funny.
I think we just over-indexed. Maybe it was like 5-6 years ago. Remember, it was like, it's sexy if you're in therapy. It's so cool to put you're in therapy on your dating profile. Yep. Remember that? And then when my ex was cheating on me, remember when we had the other woman on and she was like, oh yeah, we had this deep conversation when we were talking to each other, how much therapy has helped us. He like totally just used therapy for his advantage. And now we've come to the point where it's like, oh, we're over-therapized. Now we're like overly using this language without much substance behind it. Now it's just a tool for us to like manipulate people.
Well, the kicker with your ex and a few other people I can think of is that they were lying through therapy. Like that, it's like the going to the gym example of like, I'm just going to sit there and not do anything. But I'm going to the gym, so I'm a healthy person. It got interchanged of they're a good guy or they're a good person. Like they're emotionally available. They are emotionally intelligent if they're going to therapy. And if you're not doing the work in therapy and like really confronting it, then like it doesn't matter if you're paying every week.
Yeah. It's not even just sitting at the gym. It's eating a cheeseburger while at the gym. That's what so many people do. And also, I know this sounds so mean, but there are a lot of shitty therapists out there. Now anybody can be a therapist, especially with some of these apps. Like you just need certification. And then all of a sudden you can be a therapist.
Well, it's really important to find your right therapist. And that's why, like, not a sponsor, but this company Reflect, we've had their founder before on our podcast. And I love what they do is they let you have like calls first before you pick one. And I've had great therapists from there. And I admit that I've not had great therapists in other places. So I do think finding the right person is so important. I do love in this article, though, it starts off, have you been processing the mental load of insecure attachment? Is your emotional labor triggering a toxic trauma response? Did gaslighting shatter your coping mechanisms?
God.
Are you shutter holding space? If so, bad news. As a society, we have reached capacity for therapy speak. The meal-mouth argot of a million assured TikTokers. It's like, that's so wonderfully written.
It's so true. It is so true. I find myself even using some of these words like holding space and mental load, because I love that on one hand, it's given us language to use to describe our emotions and what we're going through. But at the same time, it's also giving us an excuse to not address some of these and say, well, it is the mental load, or it is you not holding space for me. And then it almost takes away the accountability factor.
And it's just not human. Like, it's not human. These words are, it almost, back to our AI discussion, it's not that different when you think about it. Like, if you're just giving this jargon to someone, like, I have a friend who's a therapist. I'm sure she does a great job with her clients, but her dating life is a fucking hot mess.
Yeah.
And she would send texts that she sent to people, and they were all in therapy speak. And I'm like, I can't even imagine being on the opposite side of this.
Yeah.
How are you going to react? This isn't a way to like have a conversation with someone. Can you imagine if someone like, and that's like that video I mentioned. Like, can you imagine if someone was like just using like these terms in a conversation? It just doesn't feel human.
It feels frustrating because then you're not being validated. Well, that's also another word from therapy. But my friend who went through a breakup with a guy that had been through a lot of therapy, when she was like asking, he suddenly broke up with her, right? And she was like asking for why things have happened the way it did. And he just kept using all this therapy jargon to the point where it's like it got really confusing to really understand. And also he just didn't take accountability for any of it.
Right.
It's like, because there's no space for this to grow. And blah, blah. It's like, okay, come on. I've also seen with some of my friends who've gone through a lot of couples therapy to the point where they don't know how to talk to each other like humans anymore. And it feels empty now. I actually have a friend going through a divorce right now. I think, and she wouldn't admit this, I think it's because they've done too much therapy.
Yeah.
Like, they've actually therapied themselves out of this marriage.
I think that goes to the biggest question, or like, are we over therapizing normal relationship conflict? Because you always hear people like justifying it now too. Like, they're a narcissist, they're gaslighting, they're avoidant, they're trauma ponding, all this stuff. And there was this article in The Atlantic from December 2025. It was Why Couples Therapists Are Sick of Therapy Speak. So it's Couples Therapists by Olga Kazan. And I just want to read like the very first paragraph. It's amazing. It's like, the therapists are being gaslit by gaslighting. They're being told that it's happening, but it's not. Jonathan Albert, a therapist in New York and Washington, D.C., told me he saw a couple recently who have used the term gaslighting to describe nearly every disagreement they had. Let's say one person forgot to pick up groceries or didn't accurately recall a conversation. The other would say, "Oh, you're gaslighting me. This is psychological abuse." He said, but they weren't. They were just having what I would consider pretty normal miscommunications. I think like it's really like to the point that therapists are seeing that it's a problem.
Yeah, but they are the problem. They're kind of the problem.
I think it is and it isn't though. And I think that's the part where like it obviously came from therapy, but I think it really blew up from like social media, like all this therapy talk. Like, I don't know if like a therapist, like, yes, they would use like maybe the clinical term, but I don't know if their intention was to make it be the single reason all the time. And I think like it's like the book Attached. I think there's so much great nuance in there, but the way that people sometimes digest it, it's like, well, you know, the reason why this isn't working is because they have insecure attachment and they're avoidant and it's their childhood. It's like, but maybe they're just not the right partner for you.
Yeah, maybe
and
they're an asshole.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like, you don't need to justify everything. I think, like, in a way, humans have taken it, like, people that have gone to therapy or seen the therapy speak in media have like gone to it as like, oh, this explains it. This is the solution.
Yeah, it's an excuse. Or we take it a little literally in this couples therapy example. This is what I see happening. This is because I feel like I've gone through this. In couples therapy, you may bring up an argument, and it could be something trivial. And the therapist will walk you through how you can talk through that. Like, did you feel that you weren't seen? Did you not feel validated in this because you thought you were getting the groceries, but then you forgot, right? You're using a trivial example, but the therapist, their goal is to show you the foundation of this tool, like how to use this kind of language, but also to show you that maybe this is much more than forgetting the groceries. Maybe there's a trust issue here. Maybe there is something much bigger. But now we take it so literally that we think we can use it on these everyday little trivial conflicts. And then we start blowing up in our heads too, like maybe this is something that's a pattern now, and this is something from your childhood that you see all the time, and that's why they feel abandoned in this grocery store. Like we just kind of blown it up because, like you said, it gives us an excuse for why we're feeling uncomfortable in this moment.
Or a reason. Not even excuse,
reason.
Yes, but also just like a justification. It's easier for the brain that way. I don't think all of this is to say therapy is not important. It absolutely is.
Yes,
And I don't think anyone's saying that. I think it's knowing the line of like, what is a way that I'm doing this to reflect on myself in my past and a way that makes me stronger as a person. I mean, I've definitely gone to therapy multiple times in my life and it has helped me. I don't think I could be the person I was today on this podcast if I didn't go to therapy. And it just helped me become more introspective. So again, the right therapist. And also a lot of this therapy speak, people aren't even seeing therapists. It's just from social media and like a rando person spitting off like, oh, they're a narcissist. And it's like, we also need to be able to train ourselves in a way that we're able to not just jump to a conclusion and to have more nuance.
Yeah. And I know this is a lot of responsibility on ourselves, but what you go to therapy for is also very important. And for the times that you've had great experiences in therapy, probably because you knew exactly what you needed to work on. But some people go to therapy because of something happening in the moment. It's very temporary. The therapist is not a psychic. They're not seeing the bigger picture. So they help you with something that like probably has nothing to do with anything. It's just what you think you need immediate help with. So being honest and then being open, but developing that trusting relationship with your therapist to open up your aperture is something a lot of people don't do. They just want immediate results.
Right. I want to talk about how therapy culture has raised expectations in good and bad ways. But before we do, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors.
When is the last time you dated for fun with no 5-year plan attached? Even if you're ultimately looking for a relationship, there may be a season in your life where you just want to date casually and have a fling, or two, or as many as your heart desires. The dating app Fling is here for just that. Because let's face it, during a busy or transitional time, it can be hard to devote the energy to serious dating. Maybe you're a single parent, busy with other priorities, or you're fresh out of a relationship and want to ease back into dating again. Low-pressure dating can actually be the healthiest option sometime. As long as you're safe and intentional, why not? Fling just isn't another dating app either. You have control over who you search for and who sees you. They allow you to share photos privately and even chat through video before meeting up. So if you're looking to explore some casual dating options, download the Fling app on the App Store or visit fling.me today. That's Fling, FLING.me, or you can find it under Fling Dating App in the App Store. You all probably know, but I'm a bit of a foodie. I am pretty particular about where I get meat, but sometimes it's hard to make it to a quality butcher shop or grocery store in the day, which is why I'm so excited to try Omaha steaks that get delivered right to my door. It's like having your own personal butcher right at home. I'm trying to decide what to order because they have so many varieties of tender steaks like ribeye, filet, and even Wagyu. They're also known for their flavorful burgers, so I need to add that to my list taste, and I'm also really curious about their seafood, chicken, and sides. The best part is that they're individually flash frozen, so you get that exceptional flavor and the ability to keep them stored for when you need them. Try the Burger Perfection flight at omahasteaks.com today. That's 20 premium steak burgers for just $79.99. Plus, get $35 off with promo code BEEF. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code BEEF for $35 off at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details.
I think in general, again, there's been so many positives, and you said this at the beginning, is that we have an emotional vocabulary. I don't want to minimize that because I think years ago, watching Vanderpump Rules is my guilty pleasure. And this show is from 2013. So it feels like I've been transported decades down, and people did not have tools at all. And people were just terrible. I don't know it's reality TV, but it also does bring me back to that stage where it's just they're an asshole, they suck, they're terrible. I do think at least understanding where it's coming from helps you see the person more as a human. So I know we were saying don't use it to excuse bad behavior, but also for the person, it's so much healthier that they're oh, maybe this from my childhood, I get why I do the things I do. Let me work on it. It shouldn't be a reason why you stay with someone or be in a bad situation, but as an individual, it's very powerful. So I think all that is positive. And I think the more awareness we have about ourselves, then also awareness of abuse and things that are not right in relationships. I don't want to minimize this stuff. It is a thing. There's absolutely psychological abuse. And we don't want to just say fuck therapy culture. Let's not pay attention to it. So I think that's really important. And then just less stigma about mental health. All these are huge, huge wins.
It's the same argument with dating apps. It's it's meant to help us as a tool, but we end up weaponizing it.
Yeah.
So that's the thin line of how it can help us versus hurt us. Therapy is meant to be a tool for us, but some people now use it to be predators, honestly.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of over-therapied predators. I've seen this with friends who've dated others who are well, I'm more evolved than you because I've done more therapy.
Right.
So therefore, you're not right in this situation. And I will talk circles around you about why. Right?
I don't think it's an indicator if someone has emotional intelligence, to say they went to therapy, they have emotional intelligence. We know a lot of people that go to therapy that do not have emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And I don't think the only way to gain emotional intelligence is therapy either. I think there's way more other avenues as well. But I think the fact that that has become one of the number one things that women look for in a partner is huge. Because I feel 10 years ago, it would have been do they have money? Do they are they stuff that's more superficial? So I'm really glad that we've actually moved in a direction where we are looking more of just relationship dynamics with each other, more willingness to communicate and have those hard convos. Our parents' generation didn't have any of the tools to do that. This is so positive, but we don't want to get to the place of over analyzing or apologizing partners because that's dangerous, like you were saying, the weaponizing.
Yeah. And it could go just be you're not accepting this at face value. It used to be if you see someone say they are in therapy on their dating profile, you're yes, swipe, yes. Now it's I think you got to go a level deeper and say, what are you learning or what have you learned? Same thing with, when hiking was so big back in the day, people would have in their profiles. It's ooh, they like to hike. Yes. Now it's why do you like to hike? What kind of hikes do you like to do? You just got to take it one layer deeper to understand the why, not the if they do it or not.
So I actually think this is the red flag. If someone puts it on their profile, if they're constantly talking about it, again, it's different than hiding it. But I think the people that are really in the work, they're not using it as a bragging thing, right? They're doing it.
Yeah.
If someone asks them, they're going to be yeah, I'm in therapy. They're not going to hide it, but they don't need to put it out there as a marker.
Yeah. It is the difference between I go to the gym versus I live an active lifestyle. Same thing. You can say, yeah, I go to therapy or I have a growth mindset. It's a difference in how you want to describe yourself. If someone's just giving you a list of all the things they do, but not why they do it, that is a red flag. I would say if someone led their profile with in therapy, like I do think that's kind of a red flag.
And yeah, I think like even we see sometimes people say like, I'm looking for someone that does therapy or, is emotionally intelligent. Like, I don't think you need to put that on your profile.
No.
Like, you're going to figure it out when you meet them if they're emotionally intelligent or not. And then this whole like healing conversation, I think this is actually really important too, that kind of therapy and like therapy speak. Healing is interesting to me because I do think there is a level that you need to like get to a place that you are ready for a relationship and that you're self-aware, that you're willing to like take emotional risks, that you're willing to hear people out and do all the things that you need in a relationship. I absolutely think you need to get to that point before you start dating for a serious relationship. But I also believe, and two things can be true at once, that we're never fully healed.
No.
And a lot of healing can be done in a relationship. So I don't want people to think like, oh, I need to wait until I'm 100% healed. You're never going to be 100%.
You're not. And this is the exact reason why so many people are not dating. They are inactive because they feel like to be healed or be mostly healed. And the more healing you explore, the more you realize how hard it is to completely heal. Like you'll never get there. And we see this with a lot of you right now saying, I'm not in a place to date. I'm not ready to date. I'm just opting out of dating. And we're saying like a lot of this does happen in relation to someone else.
Yeah.
And sometimes therapy can make you feel like you have to do all the work on your own first.
Yeah. I actually would like to get a therapist on our show next season to talk about what is that line. Because I do think, I had an ex that I truly believe was not, like he had work to do on himself. Like he was not ready to date. So in that case, I think there is a tipping point of like, are you in a good headspace versus like, I have everything 100% figured out. Sometimes you need to get to that alone and you don't want to bring someone along for that journey. But at what point is enough and that you're able to build with someone?
Yeah. Yeah. And you probably don't know that till you get into a relationship. And unfortunately, this is what happens sometimes. Right? You start dating someone and you think there is capacity for a relationship. You don't know till you're in relation to someone. Like with your ex, he probably felt like he could, get there. And then in a relationship, he realized he needs to do a lot more work on his own. But he wouldn't have known that if he wasn't in a relationship with you.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people too, they think of like the fun part of dating and they don't think of like what a relationship entails. And I think that's why a lot of these relationships, when you're with someone that has that work to do, they last for like that first year. And then afterwards you're like, now we're in it. And I don't have that capacity. I've seen this happen with a lot of friends that like, it's like, feels like very blindsided because you're like, oh, they were in it. Now they're gone. I think the part with dating too is that this is the part that I think has actually made it not fun, is that it's become this psychological evaluation and a lot of the magic and spontaneity and like the fun of dating. I did this as someone that did this podcast. I went into dating talking about my schemas and it was so like not connected, right? And then it was that Jeff Harry episode we did about making dating fun again. Like, before I met my husband, I'm like, I'm not going to ask any of these evaluative questions like, are you in therapy? Have you healed? Like, what's your love language? Like, I'm not going to ask it. I'm just going to have fun with someone and eventually it will come out. And I think like we're trying to, evaluate this partner so much so we don't waste time, but it's not working because it's not a fun, connected experience in any way.
Yeah, because it's making us be more judgmental versus like coming from a place of understanding. I think how we used to date 10 years ago was purely based on feels, chemistry. Let's see where this goes. And now we have this therapy toolbox. Now we're starting to judge people and doing it too quickly. So the middle ground is understanding we're still going off of feels and vibes, yes, but then you can also seek understanding through the tools that we have.
Yeah, I think the 3 questions I want to leave listeners with is the first one is, are you, and this is for everyone to reflect at home, are you becoming better at diagnosing relationships than participating in them? Has therapy culture made you more self-aware or more self-focused? And then How do you use therapy to deepen intimacy rather than create distance? I think that's really important for everyone to honestly ask themselves, because the crux of this conversation is that therapy helps in so many ways. It helps us get to that place of self-awareness, of having the tools to communicate better. But then there is the tipping point that it becomes problematic. So where are you on that scale? Are you in a place where it's healthy, it's beneficial, it's doing all the things that make relationships at this time feel like partnerships and not the archaic, outdated tropes that we had years ago? No one wants to go back there. We're not saying that. No one wants to go back there. But we also don't want to be so robotic and sterile and therapy speak that we never get into relationships.
Yeah. And reflect on this with a friend or someone you're dating, like your partner. I think it's good to have these conversations out loud.
Yeah,
not
definitely.
with AI, but with another human. I swear to you, so many people have these discussions internally, but we're just not talking about it with each other. I do think on a first or second date, this would be really interesting discussion, to bring in these 3 questions, because I would want to know where someone stood with how they saw therapy in their own relationships.
I agree, but I would say a 5th date, personally.
Okay, you go 5th date.
I would say let's just have fun with the person and see if they're even someone we enjoy being with before we go there. And if all that checks out, then go there, go to that deeper place. I just feel like I've watched so many people, and myself included, think I was having the best dates ever because I was getting so deep with people. And there's just doesn't give you a connection. You never see the person again.
Yeah, it's a false connection. Yeah. Let's get the magic back, but with more tools in our toolbox.
Yep. And you know what gets the magic back is that our season is starting next week.
It's so many things.
So many things gets the magic back, but season 23, we are all grown up. We're in our 20s now. We're getting the big topics. So if you have a point of view on this, reach out to us. We're still looking for guests. We want to talk to more real people and hear points of view. Or if you're a therapist and have a strong point, like I said, I'd love to get someone that can really get into that. What is that tipping point? What are some things that we can look for of how healed am I versus how much do I just need to realize I'm a human?
Ideally, I would love to hear from a therapist who's actively dating. Come at us.
That'd be good. But yeah, the answer here is not to not do self-work. We absolutely do not want that to be the message anyone hears. I feel like UA and I, when we do this podcast and we talk to people, it's very clear who has done work on themselves. And I really believe that is what sets you up for a relationship. So this is not don't do work. It's just making sure that we're doing work that doesn't just use buzzwords and doesn't just oversimplify things and doesn't keep us on a perpetual hamster wheel and moves us forward.
Yes. Still do the work. Still do the work. We just need to be more accountable in every way. And hopefully this episode sparked some of that in you, sparked some of that in me for sure. And we will continue all of these discussions in our season coming up.
Yep. So make sure to subscribe now so you are there for when it launches, because we got some good things in store.
All right. Okay. We'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Meet the Red Bull Dragonberry Energizer. It's one of the many new drinks out now. Who knew ice-cold drinks could be so fire? Try them all, only at McDonald's.